Welcome to this session of double bass drumming. In this video, we're going to focus on some tips for beginners to help you throughout your journey of double bass drumming. Let's get into some basics and some information about the principles you need to know before you start practicing. The first step we have to take is to make sure that our pedals are set up correctly for our body weight. Let's take a look at the footboard position. The footboard, it's how high or low it's set up on your pedals. The beater cam sets the beater either further back or forward on the bass drum. The beater height gives you either more speed or more control. The spring tension allows you to control the rebound in between the drum head and the pedal. The setting has to be the same on both pedals as shown here, and the cam has to be in the same angle as in the right pedal. This is very important for you to be comfortable when practicing double bass. When we learn a new technique, it is extremely important that we understand the motion basics behind it. Let's take a look. If I place my hands on this table and I open them in a V position, this is how your feet sit on the pedals. Let's try to simulate the full leg motion. This is when you use your hip flexor muscles, your legs, and a little bit of ankle. I'm stomping on the table to exaggerate the motion. Let's try to go faster now. This is when you tense your glutes, your hamstrings, your hip flexor muscles, your legs, and your ankles, trying to go faster when you don't know the ankle motion. Now, if we do this, we release the tension and all the muscles are relaxed. We're going to use our wrists as ankles. As you can see, I'm tapping faster than I was playing before. My forearms are playing a role as they were the calves. Now, if we go ahead and raise our palms, this translates to your heels, and then when you start pushing on the footboard, it's going to give you more speed and more power. This is very important when you try to go faster or you try to control the motion when using the ankle technique. The main reason why drummers get exhausted and they burn their muscles is because of this. Let's try to simulate a fast full leg motion. Notice how much the table shakes when I add all the force and effort to the pedals. This is what happens when you try to muscle through the technique. If we stick to the ankle motion, notice how the table moves less and I'm able to move freely with just using my wrist. This is basically what your ankles do when you deactivate the bigger muscles and only rely on your calves and your ankles. There are two ways to play the ankle technique. The first one is the heel up version, which is where you raise your heels and your toes and balls of your feet stay in contact with the footboard. I am exaggerating the motion here so you can see the example. Now let's go ahead and try to simulate what we call the balance point or the starting position. We're going to release the tension in our legs, and then we're going to gently push forward and raise our heels. And this is going to allow us to prepare for the first double bass pattern that we're about to play. Now we're going to raise our heels again, and we're going to drop them into the footboard, and this is where you start playing. I made a video explaining this exercise here, so feel free to check it out for more detailed performance. Now let's go ahead and work with the heel down motion. As you can see, I am resting my palms and pushing forward with my wrist, as my wrists were the ankles and my palms are the heels. Notice how I am not raising the palms or trying to add more force into the strokes. I'm just working a full heel down motion. In front of my forearm or our legs, we're going to have what we call the shin muscle, which is a small muscle that allows us to go fast, but unfortunately doesn't allow us to get more power out of the strokes, and it burns quickly. This normally happens when the division between the shin muscle and the ankle meet at a certain point where it burns out and you feel some fatigue. This is basically something that you can consider in the future depending how you want to play. I prefer the heel up version, which allows me to play with more power by using my calves and my ankles. This is a better option if you want to play for longer periods of time without getting tired. But go ahead and try both and see which one suits you the best. And finally, here's an example of how you can switch from the ankle technique to the full leg motion. With this exercise, you can practice and understand what muscle groups you need to activate depending on the speed that you're playing. I hope these tips help you enhance your double bass drumming, and if you have any further questions or concerns, drop them in the comments below. Happy drumming. Cheers.